right, so I read a comment from one of you guys in reference to a video that I did about the First Amendment rights being under attack in California and how churches were using a creative method to try to troll and get around that. And the comment basically said, why don't you talk more about what conservatives are doing to fight back instead of talking about what liberals are actually doing to us? I should talk more about what we're doing to fight back and the people that are fighting the battle. And I feel like this is something that I already kind of do a lot, but I do read you guys' comments and I do take them to heart. And somebody who's on the front lines and that is currently fighting the battle is Candace Owens. And Candace Owens announced that she scored a big win in the battle against tech censorship. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share. A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. But right before we get into this, guys, you guys know I'm currently fighting the war on flushable wipes. That's right. Flushable wipes clog pipes. They can cost your local municipality up to millions of dollars in taxpayer money cleaning out those wipes every single year. And it also can cost you thousands of dollars in plumbing bills if you're currently using wipes. My solution to this problem is called Ashi. Ashi is a home system that is designed to transform your toilet paper into eco-friendlier flushable wipes. It's very simple to use. It looks great, elegant, modern in any bathroom, and it make a great holiday / Christmas gift for friends and family. So if you're looking to upgrade your wipe or you want an eco-friendly or alternative to flushable wipes, check out Ashi at ashihome.com. 10% of net proceeds will go to Toys for Tots. All right, guys, let's get in this video. So Candace Owens, who I respect a lot, I don't necessarily agree with everything she says, but I do respect her a lot, has won a challenge against fact checkers. And this is a part of Candace Owens' battle against tech censorship, in which she's decided that she's going to take on this battle in order to fight against the censorship from these tech companies in regards to conservative speech. And this is a very important battle because this is probably the most important issue that conservatives are currently facing. We're being kicked off of major platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, because we don't agree with the mainstream leftist narrative. And the tech companies are aligned with the mainstream leftist narrative. So they're essentially kicking conservatives out. Conservatives are going to Parler, they're going to Rumble, they're going to other platforms. However, guys, I do agree with the free market solution. But it is still important to understand that conservatives still need to be on these main platforms, because if our voices are not heard, then we're not going to be changing anybody's minds. At the end of the day, we're talking because we want to change minds. We want to change people's opinions, okay? If you're talking to everybody who agrees with you, then it's kind of pointless, okay? Now, one of the things that these tech companies have been censoring conservatives over lately is the presidential election and the contested outcome. So Google, Facebook, Instagram, all the big ones, YouTube, they've been essentially telling everybody that Joe Biden won the election. The election's already been decided. They're calling Joe Biden the president-elect. And conservatives are fighting back against this because we know that President Trump is currently trying to fight this out in court as he is contesting the election. So the argument from conservatives is that until the electoral college votes are actually cast, there is no president-elect. Joe Biden is not president. And Candace Owens, who said this on Facebook in a video, was fact-checked by PolitiFact, who basically told her audience that what she said was false. Okay? So she went straight to PolitiFact with her legal team and challenged this. And PolitiFact removed their false rating and retracted an article on why Candace Owens' video was allegedly false. And the site also offered to add a correction admitting to their fault. So just a little bit more background into this video. Candace Owens had posted a video on November 12th offering commentary on the 2020 presidential election, which was captioned, Quote, Joe Biden is literally and legally not the president-elect. So why is the media pretending he is?
Anybody who understands politics, who passed a basic level of civics, knows that right now in this moment, Joe Biden is literally and legally not the president-elect. This information cannot be fact-checked because that is the truth. So they cannot take that off. They cannot censor that. It is a fact. For whatever reason, we have a bunch of people in America who actually believe that a Fox News or a CNN projection is a fact, that becomes it, that the state is over and that is it. So if the media projects that the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl, then that's it. It's over. The Patriots win. They don't understand that this is a projection and that the states have to actually certify the results. I've been watching these last few days and I'm trying to figure out why the media can't just tell these leftists who don't really understand this the truth. What is the point of lying to them? Why not just say to them, hey guys, we think Joe Biden's going to win, but of course that is not a guaranteed result. We need to wait for all of the states to certify their elections. Why aren't they softening that blow in the very real chance that Donald Trump comes behind and wins? Why are they censoring information? In fact, it's so crazy that they're even doing glowing pieces on Joe Biden's dogs. These are the dogs that are going to live in the White House. This is what it's going to be like. Jill is going to be the first, whatever, teacher, whatever they were saying about Joe Biden. They're doing all of these glowing profile pieces on the Bidens, actually creating a mental disorder right now because people believe the election is over. I mean, I'm actually flabbergasted that this even needed explaining. Somebody told me that Cardi B tagged me being like, Joe Biden won. And I'm sitting here like, see, Cardi, this is what proves my point. This is why people need to stop following celebrities on Instagram, because you're starting to actually compromise your brain cells here. You don't understand how elections work. I've had leftists then say, oh, well, Candace, then why did it work in 2016 when Trump was considered president-elect after the election night? Because Hillary conceded. So that is a way that you can become the president-elect. If Donald Trump had given a concession speech and said, which basically is withdrawing yourself from the race, then Joe Biden would be the president-elect. Donald Trump has not given a concession speech. So Joe Biden is not the president-elect. The states have not called it, and Donald Trump has not given a concession speech. So the whole president-elect thing is a mirage. It's being created by the media.
Which is 100% correct. That is a fact. No electoral votes have been cast yet. What the media is telling people is literally a projection. And a lot of people get upset about this. But the reality is conservatives are correct, technically. It's just that in the past, we've been using the wrong language, right? Because in virtue of him contesting the election, he's actually brought up a great point in terms of we've been using the wrong language during these presidential election processes in which we're calling somebody the presidential-elect before the actual process of electing the president is finished. If you guys haven't learned by now, the process is very lengthy and there's a lot more steps involved than just showing up and voting on November 3rd and the president being decided that night. You have to go through the state certifications. You have to go through the electoral college. And not only the electoral college has to cast their votes, and the newly elected Congress has to confirm the votes. And then after that is done, the next presidency becomes official. That is a lengthy process that takes basically 2 months after election day. And not a lot of people realize that. So again, from a technical standpoint, Candace Owens and conservatives are 100% right about this. Now, this video that she posted was hit with a false rating. And as noted by Owens, theoretically, every single person who shared the post was alerted by Facebook that they had shared false content. Quote, weeks ago, Facebook censored a post of mine which truthfully stated that Joe Biden is not president-elect. So I got lawyers involved, she said Saturday via Twitter. The conclusion, PolitiFact uncensored the post and admitted that they lied by rating my post false. The fact checkers are lying for Democrats. Now, the note from PolitiFact reads as follows. Correction, PolitiFact originally labeled this video false in our capacity as a third-party fact checker for Facebook. On November 20th, an appeal to that decision was made on the behalf of Ms. Owens. PolitiFact approved the appeal on November 20th, determined that a correction was appropriate, and removed the false rating. Now, Candace Owens And a follow-up post said, quote, at 8 months pregnant, I unfortunately cannot fight on the ground alongside patriots like I'm used to, but I am taking every measure to fight these communists in the courtroom. It is my goal to expose these lying fact checkers one by one. Joe Biden is not the president-elect. So here's a picture of the post and the correction that PolitiFact has done so that we can all get a better understanding of kind of what it looked like. And then just a little bit more details in terms of exactly what Candace Owens did with her legal representation in terms of how she got this done. She says that she reached out to PolitiFact, her and her legal team, on November 20th, in which they immediately heard back from PolitiFact, and PolitiFact admitted that they made a mistake. And the language from the lawyer at PolitiFact, according to Owens, reads as follows.
Upon first glance, this video from Ms. Owens was labeled false from PolitiFact in error. We already have removed the label from the video, and you should now be able to see it uninstructed. As we're about 25 minutes into this, I still don't know how or why the post was labeled false. We're investigating and hoping to share more information with you formally on Monday.
So from that note, guys, you can see as soon as Candace called PolitiFact out on their BS, they folded like origami. And the reason why they folded like origami is because they knew that what they were doing was wrong. Right? They knew that conservatives was right in how they were framing what is defined as the president-elect. And the problem is that they are so adamant about trying to convince people that Joe Biden won that they will ignore basic facts about how the president is actually elected in order to push the narrative that they want people to believe. And that's the problem with these fact checkers. They come off as if they are objective arbiters of truth, and that if they label your statement false, then it's just false. When in reality, these people are not objective. They're actually subjective. Their facts are influenced by leftist ideology. And this is a very clear example. And as soon as you call them out on it, when you actually go with some legal representation, they fold. And this is why it's so important for us as conservatives to continue to fight back and to continue to speak out about this. And thank God for people like Candace Owens, who's willing to take the battle to the courtroom in order to fight for our freedom of speech. Because otherwise, they would just continue to do it and get away with it. And this is why I try to do my part in terms of making videos like this to make sure that I continue to fight for you guys and to do my part. I always try to speak up for freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the First Amendment, because I believe that it's the First Amendment for a reason. It's probably the most important one. And we cannot allow these tech companies to continue to take away our First Amendment rights without punishment. And I'm really happy that Candace Owens has taken upon herself to fight this battle. I really am. It's a battle that needs to be fought. And this is something that we have to continue to do, and we can't let up. So all in all, I think this is a major, major, major win for the conservative movement, as it shows that we are now beginning to break ground with these tech companies, and that we now have a roadmap in which we may be able to fight back against these guys in order to protect our First Amendment rights. So I think this is great. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.